Alarm growing this morning over the suspected poisoning of hundreds of schoolgirls in Iran. And Iranian authorities say the poisonings may have been deliberate attacks designed to prevent girls from seeking an education. Local media reports say that for months now, young Iranian students have been hospitalized after saying they smelled gas. I'd like to bring in Masih Alinejad, an Iranian-American journalist and activist. Masih, it's always a pleasure to see you. What have you been hearing from folks on the ground there about what's been going on?
Jose, it's very, very scary. I've been talking to students and their parents. More than 1,000 students were transferred to hospital due to suffering from chemical attacks. And I have to say that many of them believe that this is an act of revenge by the Islamic Republic against those brave girls and students who are leading a massive protest against the Islamic Republic right after the brutal death of Mahsa Amini. And now many students are concerned that the Islamic Republic tell them that the day that they were the target of chemical attack, all the surveillance cameras were off. And that's why they believe that this is happening deliberately.
And Masih, I mean, the NGO called Human Rights Activists in Iran says more than 19,000 people were arrested in these recent protests. More than 500 were killed. Amnesty International says the regime has killed 94 people just this year. They call it a chilling execution spree. Now, NBC News has not independently confirmed that data, but what's the reality for people like in Iran? Since 1979, human rights have not been at all respected by the regime there.
Life is like a hell right now. But as I always say that killing, torturing, executing is in the DNA of the Islamic Republic. But you know what bothers me and millions of Iranians? Right now, the U.S. government actually called on the Iranian regime to do an investigation on this recent chemical attack on a schoolgirl. You know what does it mean? It means to put criminals who kill its own innocent teenagers, who execute people for the crime of protesting, to be in charge, to do an investigation on their own crimes. So that's why Iranians are actually calling on the rest of the world that this is the moment that we need you to actually hold the Islamic Republic accountable. When, as you mentioned yourself, 500 innocent protesters got killed only in 5 months. 20,000 of them got arrested. 5 of them got executed. There was no punishment by the West. So there is no reason for the Islamic Republic to stop killing its own people. That is why now they're trying actually to create a fear, to use terror tactic to drive out the students, the teenagers who became a threat for the Islamic Republic from the streets.
And you know, let me tell you something, and you know better than anybody else. I mean, you're one of Time Magazine's Women of the Year for elevating Iranian women's voices, but that prominence has come with risks. The DOJ announced an assassination plot that apparently was against you. These are the tentacles of a regime that sees that the world does not stand up to whatever they do. And you know what, Masih? There's a pattern there. When you have dictatorships around the world that are able to do what they want within the confines of their own country and the world stands idly by, this is the kind of stuff that they feel they have the right to do.
Exactly. Look, this is the fact, Jose. When dictators are not being punished, then there is no reason for them to stop harassing and killing their own dissidents. As you yourself mentioned about my situation, I mean, to be honest, I cannot even celebrate to be Woman of the Year for Time Magazine because, look, my daughters, my sisters, my fellow women are being raped in prison right now. But at the same time, I see that the High Representative of the EU are welcoming the killers in Europe. I see that even Biden administration, instead of meeting with opposition leaders, with opposition figures, they're asking the same criminals to negotiate with them or to do an investigation about their own crimes. So I believe that when it comes to Islamic Republic, money, business, oil. These are the things that stop the democratic countries to care about human rights. But believe me, we, the people of Iran, are going to get rid of the Islamic Republic. But the history will judge the democratic countries. And believe me, if the democratic countries do not take a strong action, all these criminals who are killing innocent people inside Iran, in the Middle East, they will come after the Westerners, after the U.S. citizens here on U.S. soil.
Well, they certainly were on U.S. soil when they attempted to assassinate you and your family. Masih Alinejad, I thank you for being with us. It's always a pleasure to see you.